Hola, mis amigos de YouTube. Hi, my YouTube friends. This is Penguina here with another cover video for another story and another great recipe. So, if you've been following my channel, following my videos, and one of my videos, I actually make a loaf of bread, keto bread, is basically what I named it. And so, what I did right now is I sliced that bread. It's supposed to be a little bit bigger, but I explained what happened in that video if you guys want to go and watch it. So it turns out this is how it looks like. And so today's recipe is basically going to be keto French toast. Yes, yes, French toast. I did actually mention it, like, hey, you guys can make a torta if you cut it this way, yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, French toast. Yes, yes, okay, yes, okay. So basically that's what I am gonna do while I share the story. And I'm gonna try to like not make a long video, you guys know that I always do. Um because of the fact that, I'm just telling you my story. And so what I like to use, this, of course, this one is my own recipe. This one's not coming from anybody. This is how I like making my French toast. And then I realized it was keto. So we are using keto bread. Once again, let me bring that into the shot so you guys remember it's keto bread. I'm going to use heavy whipping cream. Okay, I don't use an electric mixer. This one doesn't have to be like perfectly foamy. That's only if you're making other. And I'm going to use about a quarter cup, pouring into this little bowl, because that's where you're going to dip your bread in, both sides, and kind of dump it in there. I might need more because I kind of as I go. I'm a kind of as I go type of girl. And then 2 eggs because it's a lot of bread. But meanwhile, I'm gonna kind of just get it a little rough mix. It does kind of lift up a little bit. Sorry, I know it's loud because of the plastic. Okay, I'm gonna also go ahead and break open my huevos. That's gonna be the one. I'm using my counter. Usually I like break one against the other. It's okay. So my stove and my pan usually like heat up pretty fast. And I have a whole bunch of little leftovers. Butters. Look at that, it's funny. It's like 2 tablespoons here, like almost 3 here, and I think almost about 3 here. And the reason they're like this is because when one of my recipes calls for like, as it tells you like half a cup, and then that's where you cut. There's a line. So a whole stick is like half a cup. And so what I do is if it says like, oh, you only need like 4 tablespoons, boom, that's where I cut it. And then I'm like leftover butter. But you know what? My actual French toast, I love it with butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix. Again, I might need a little bit of more heavy whipping cream just because I like it like that. And today's story is basically gonna be, I know in my previous video, I did mention to you guys that my first baby, she was preemie. She was a premature baby. I was young. They didn't really give me an explanation. Sorry, I don't like wasting, and I saw that there was a little bit of heavy cream left. So I might need half a cup just because there's a lot of bread, because but, and your vanilla, and it's going to be half a teaspoon. And so with my baby being a preemie baby, it was 28 to 30 weeks when I went into labor. And I honestly didn't know what was going on. I didn't think it was labor pains because, I didn't think she was ready to come out in my head. And then my husband jokingly said, maybe the baby wants to come. Maybe she's ready to come. And I said, no, she can't be ready to come. She's not fully cooked. LOL. That's the term I use. I always say with any pregnancy, just a dash of cinnamon. That's just the way I like it. You can eliminate it. It's optional, but it makes it yummy. I also like a little bit of salt. Yes, I'm weird. I don't think maybe anybody's done this. It's just a few sprinkles. I'm gonna use the other side. It's my regular sea salt. See, just a few sprinkles. Okay. No, nothing else. That's just it. I'll go ahead and turn on my stove here to kind of like medium. Not medium high, just medium, just because I know it'll get started. So I'm going to continue mixing this because one of the yolks hasn't broke. And while I'm doing that, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Notification bell is going to let you know when I upload my videos. And then, of course, if you like, then I know that that's the content that you guys are liking my content, basically my stories and my recipes. And I hope you like both. You know, I'm sorry if you don't like the stories and you just want the recipe and be done with. But you know what? That's basically every other channel out there. It's what they're doing. It's just beautiful music, and then they're just throwing all the ingredients, and then sometimes it's like robotic. And it's not that I'm criticizing, or maybe I am. I don't know, whatever. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, this I believe is different. So I'm sharing about myself. Like, I don't even have to do that. I mean, I could share like a million other topics that are on the news, but you guys can watch the news for that. And so my story is unique to myself, and you never know, maybe there's somebody out there that relates. See, Mr. Pinguino's paying attention. Now, this might not be enough for my bread. So if that's the case, then I just repeat the same, another 2 eggs, another quarter cup. And I'm going to go ahead and dump in the butter. I like a lot of butter, so I'm going to do all of the pieces. So I want to say it's probably about half a cup of butter. You can use oil if you want, coconut oil, whatever. I want them to be buttery. That's my preference. Anyway, so at the age of 16, before I turned 17, I got pregnant, and then my daughter is born in May. Was I? No, I was 17 when I had her. Yeah, so 16 I got pregnant, but I was about to be 17. So the end of, so if you did hear my story where we just ended up planning her and said, if this moment, and we just didn't get married, and then we just started planning our first baby. And if you watch the previous video where I'm making the tres leches con arroz, or rice pudding in English, or just arroz con leche. The reason I say tres leches con arroz is because I literally utilize 3 different type of milk for my arroz con leche. Okay, so this is nice and melting. Quick money shot here. Boom. And then I'm going to lower it to almost low because I don't want them to burn. It smells delicioso. And anyways, I get pregnant. I almost had a miscarriage when I was about 4 months. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys believe like in angels and demons and whatnot, and God and that. I mean, I do. And I just think because my daughter is gifted, and if she wants me to share that story, I will. If not, I won't. That's just, she's gifted, okay? And she's basically has a very, 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 very bright light to her. So maybe that gives the smart peoples a clue. The rest of you, I'm sorry if you don't understand. I hope you do. Anywho, sorry I'm like delaying it because I'm picking up a dish. So I felt that just demons around were messing with my pregnancy because of the bright light gifted child that God had given me. And so yeah, I almost had a miscarriage. I ended up in the hospital. I was underage, and my mom knew already by this time. And then she's like, "Oh, I can't do it." Well, she verbally gave consent over the phone so I can be treated. I was just super dehydrated. I was bleeding, and what ended up happening is I was given a lot of. Basically, I was hydrated. Sorry, it's like on the top of my head. Suero en español. I'll translate it later for you guys. I honestly can't remember the electrolytes, basically. There we go. And then, so a mixer might come in handy, but I don't want it too, like, stiff peaks or anything like that. But I do kind of want it to lift a little bit. That's why I'm making all this noise. My butter in my pan is ready to go. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm going to use these to flip them over. So anywho, here's where you grab your slice of bread. Remember, it's keto bread. And you dip it in on both sides, just like that. And it's going to go in the pan. And then the next. Okay, this is how you make French toast. And then my next. And then you guys keep watching and then I'll continue my story, okay? So anywho, I get out of the hospital, and as soon as I get out of the hospital, I literally just threw everything that was given to me at the hospital. So all the bags of electrolyte to keep me hydrated, everything, just barfed it back up. All of it, medicines and everything. Pretty sure like whatever pills they gave me or whatever. Literally, just. And then I was panicking, and then my husband's like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. And I didn't want to go back to the hospital. I just prayed. I'll be real with you guys. I said, you know what? There's no way God wants her back. I know God wants her to be with me. That's why I got pregnant, and I've made it so far. And I prayed, and I let it be in God's hands. Okay. Oh, this one broke on me. It's okay. We can have little ones. I guess I got too rough. So I got two more little, like, thick. I cut them like about an inch, I want to say. Or so thick. Half an inch to an inch, whatever. You do you, however you like your French toast. I still have the egg batter, so I'm gonna still continue to use that. This is like slowly cooking here. I kind of dumped it too low. I'm gonna move it a little bit higher to a number 4. I have numbers in my stuff. Anywho, I know I'm like 14 minutes in, but I want you to watch like the whole process. So I'm not gonna flip it over yet. I'm just gonna bring up the heat just a little bit more, back to almost medium. And so I'm gonna go sit down because I have a chair right here in my kitchen. So you guys watch that. Watch my little pinguino there, cookie jar. And I'll just continue with my story while that French toast is cooking up. And then I'll go and flip it in about a minute or so. But anyway, Fast forward, and I'm going to school. I'm still in high school, junior year. And the reason it's junior year, and that's a whole different story, is because throughout my life, my mom just didn't get it and would pull me out of school and be like, "Oh, we're going to El Salvador." Yes, my mom is from El Salvador, the country. El Salvador represent in the house. That's on my mom's side. Um, Anywho, so she would just literally like pull me out of school, make me miss like a whole month. Like, let's say we would get out in June for like summer break. She would pull me out like in May, and then school like would return like let's say in September or whatever, and I would probably go back like in October or whatever. So yeah, so it was like I missed a lot, so I was behind because of that. And so, anyways, so yeah, I was a junior, and so I was going to school, and I just went into labor. Right. This is like the second time now. Okay, so this is when I'm already like 28 to 30 weeks, somewhere in there. Honestly, don't remember. That's what I remember them saying, 28 to 30 weeks. They weren't even sure. And so, she literally had turned in my belly. So she was breached, what they call breached. So her head was on one side, her booty was on the other side, and I had I was in the hospital, and then the doctor, actually, she was not a doctor. She was one of those natural ladies. What are they called? Sorry. Haven't had one. I never had one after that experience. So now I'm flipping them over. Okay, I don't want to make it burn or anything like that. So about 2 minutes on one side. I'm about to give it like 2 minutes on the other side. But anyways, yeah. So midwife. Sorry, just came to me. Midwife. Sorry, midwives. I don't want to be rude to you guys. I know you guys are awesome, but my baby was breached, and she didn't like explain to me that if I had pains, like, dude, I didn't know this was my first baby. I was like 16 years old. She should have given me more information. Almost 17. And so, no, actually, I was already 17. That's when I had her when I was 17. I got pregnant at 16. A few months later, I turned 17, and then she was born in May. So yeah, I was already 17 years and 5 months. So anywho, I'll give it like another 2 minutes on this side. So then so this midwife, she literally just came in there with her hands and bam, she's like moving my daughter back, and it was like pain, okay, and she's grabbing my belly and she's twisting the heck out of it and twisting the heck out of her and put her back into position to be basically a regular vaginal birth. And well, that child's like, heck no. She literally went back to her booty on one side and her head on the other side. Her head was on my right side, her booty was on my left side. And I was like, oh my lord. And so they said, we're gonna have to have an emergency. You're gonna have to have an emergency C-section, basically. And then I was like, what does that mean? Like, I didn't know. She's like, that means we have to cut your belly open and pull your baby out. And I was like scared and worried. But then guess what? God was by my side. So I prayed originally, and I did a miscarry, and then I end up, basically waiting another 2 months, and then, I get birthing pains again. I go back into labor, and I was literally in labor, and I, went to the midwife's place, and she's like, "Why didn't you dial 911?" She was all yelling at me. I was like, "I didn't know. I didn't know I was in labor." Oh, the other one broke. I was rough on it. It's okay. Man, if you guys have little kids, then you can just feed the little pieces to your little kids. I don't. I'm gonna feed them to myself. My kids are adults. So I guess yeah, that was enough for the loaf of bread that I showed you guys in the previous video. Alright, it's gonna go in the sink, pour some water in it. And I'm almost done, and my story should almost be done. But long story short, handling the whole, having a preemie baby, um, it was hard because I was, thank God it was summer break, basically. I have wonderful teachers that helped me out with um, basically with the month that I gave birth. And then looking here, oh, it's been 2 minutes. Time flies. Or maybe 1.5. But I'll go ahead and show you. Look at how gorgeous they look. And if you could smell the vanilla, cinnamon. And this is just me. Okra. I like sprinkling cinnamon on top. You don't have to. I'm just extra. Just the way I like them. With some scrambled egg and bacon. Oh my god, best keto breakfast ever. But if I tell you that it's almost 11 o'clock at night, you guys, how crazy is that? Me over here finishing this video for you guys. It's already 11 o'clock at night. But I needed to create these videos so that I can edit them, because it takes me for forever. Not really edit them, honestly. I just kind of throw in the words, my little extra notes, my little, stuff in there that you see in my videos. And so there it is, right there, all done. And you can stare at those while I finish my story. But let me show you what I put on top of them so I can deliciously eat them and not feel guilty, because it is keto French toast. Bam! Keto syrup! 1 gram net carb per serving. See that? 0 sugar. This is what I utilize. And with monk fruit. And then you shake it, and then you refrigerate after opening. Okay. And so shake it, shake, shake it. You serve yourself whatever you're gonna eat. You guys know how to do that part. Just didn't know there was a keto syrup, I'm pretty sure. Now you know. Anyways, just to finalize my story. So Mr. Pinguino here with a bow tie, my husband, can stare at those, and you can stare at those, how delicious, and which you can just jump through my phone and then grab one, right? And then eat it. Real quick. So I'm 17 years old. I just had this preemie baby through C-section. And I had to pray like there's no tomorrow, because she just had like, I don't know the medical term, but she had like water in her brain, if that makes sense. Like a lot, excessively, where they would have to put like a little tube through the outside, okay, not through the inside, of her brain to basically all the way. She would have to have like surgeries throughout her life, and she would have to go pee pee, and that's where she would pee pee the water that kept accumulating in her brain. She was either going to be completely blind, or she would need like those big bottle Coke glasses for her vision. And then she was like really small. She was like 2 pounds. I'm not telling you guys, so I'm not giving you her full name anyway. So she was 2 pounds, 13 ounces, and 15 inches long. So that's literally as big as a ruler plus 3 more inches, right? Like a regular 12-inch ruler. a foot and 3 inches. How long my daughter was. And, you know, that was kind of hard when the doctor explaining all of this to a 17-year-old. Like, hey, your baby is going through this and this and that. And it's a scary moment. It really is. To know that God has given you this child. You've been baking it in your oven. And then all of a sudden, she's gonna end up back with God. Because they weren't sure if she was gonna make it, period. You know? And it's very sad. But what I end up doing is, like everything that happens in my life, when I need guidance, is I prayed to God. I prayed as much as I could. I prayed. And I wasn't trying to let that stop me, discourage me. Yeah, so I'm just confirming in her baby book, she was 2 pounds, 13 ounces. Oh, I'm sorry, 14 inches is what I wrote down. I don't even think they put that in the birth certificate or anything. And then I'll show you her little baby footprints. Oop. See that? How teeny tiny. And that's her teeny, tiny little handprints. Isn't that crazy? And the tiny little footprints were literally the day after her birthday, and her tiny little handprints are like about 2 months later. She's my teeny tiny little baby, my first teeny tiny little baby, my little girl. And in here, I really don't have a little baby picture of her. I have other pictures of her, like when she's older. So I turned to God and I said, you know what, my Lord? And this is just me, okay? Try not to judge. But I don't think I could have handled the baby as sick as she was going to be, according to the doctors. And I told God, I said, either you give her to me 100% healthy, with literally 100% healthy, or just please take her. She's yours anyways. I'm just borrowing her while she's here on earth. And ultimately, the choice is yours. And that was literally my prayer right there, and then some. And church people and my husband's family, since they were part of the church, actually came to the hospital and they were praying for her. And man, just God, His miracles. She survived all of that. And she came home. And just for the first year, I had to keep going back and forth to the hospital because she would have her little apnea or episodes, and she had an oxygen tank. She came home with an oxygen tank, a big one, like the big 6-foot cylinders next to her crib type of deal. And she had an apnea monitor that would alert me if she stopped breathing during her sleep. And I had to take CPR classes. And Mr. Pinguino, I believe, had to do some stuff. I honestly don't remember about him. I just remember about me. And I would visit her every single day. I would ride the bus because I didn't have a car, because Mr. Pinguino had to continue making the bacon. And I had to ride the bus, 2 buses, to get to the hospital from where I lived. And yeah, I did it. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I know it's 30 minutes in. I'm sorry. It's just I wanted to finish off my story once again. Hopefully you didn't shut it off and continue listening to the story. But thank you so much for, staying. If you did stay the full 30 plus minutes. It was hard as a 17-year-old. And yeah, some of you are going to say, well, that's what happens when you have kids at a young age. No, it's not. Okay? No, it's not. It's just, it could happen at any age. I could have been 25, 30, 35, 40, and it would have happened. There's stories out there, I'm pretty sure. So it had nothing to do with that. I honestly, in my heart, believe that it had something to do with the angels and demons around on this earth. But you know what? Ultimately, guess who won? God. That's who won. Because my daughter is very beautiful and she is strong and she's 27 years old. And as far as anybody's concerned, yes, she's a very healthy baby. And unless she says it's okay, one day I'll show you guys pictures or have her in one of my videos. I respect their privacy 100%. And yeah. So, end of the story, moral of the story. Regardless of what happens in your life, what you're going through, don't forget God. Please. Don't forget that God is there for you and He will help you accomplish your goals and He will help you get through any rough patches and just have faith and don't give up. All right, my beautiful YouTube friends, mis amigos de YouTube. Gracias por todo. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sticking through my videos that are forever long. And please, once again, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I love you guys. May God bless you all. Thank you.